Hi everyone, my name is Meta. I'm a runner of many different FPS games, many different movement games, and this is sort of my latest obsession. This is Shadow Warrior 3. There's a lot of skips, there's a lot of pretty cool movement, and yeah, I'm excited to be showing this off to you guys. This is actually the first time that Shadow Warrior 3 is being shown off in a marathon, so thank you Green Gaming for accepting me. I'm excited to show it off. Today with me I have two beautiful members of my couch, if they would like to introduce themselves.
Hello everybody, my name is Dangerous. I'm one of the moderators for Shadow Warrior 3 and also an avid FPS speedrunner.
Hello there, my name is Rytro. I also moderate for Shadow Warrior 3 and I play too much Doom Eternal.
We are the entire moderator staff, by the way, so
Yes.
there you go.
The three of us are the sole moderators of Shadow Warrior 3. Okay, well, I'll go ahead and get it started. Obviously, we're going to be running on easy today. We do have some subcategories on speedrun.com for hardcore, which is a new difficulty added in the latest patch. I'll give you a countdown for when we start time. It's just when we skip this cutscene here. So 3, 2, 1. Time starts, and I'm just gonna restart checkpoint here just to skip this animation right off the bat, and we're just gonna go.
I actually didn't know about that reload. That's literally the first trick of the game, like 0 seconds in, and I didn't know
even
about
know
it,
that?
adding it to my runs already.
Yeah, so as soon as you load in, the game actually kind of locks you in place, but if you load checkpoint, you'll still do the dialogue, like it'll repeat the dialogue, but for whatever reason, they let you move around afterwards, so you get to save about 3 seconds by doing that. That's really funny that you didn't know that.
You already missed it, but we skipped a weapon, because when you pick up a weapon in this game, it has a little bring-up animation, so, yeah. Oh, this was an arena, by the way. It skipped.
Yep, skip that
I'm
arena.
so glad I got that first try, because that's been inconsistent in practice, like, all afternoon, dude.
Yeah.
What's funny is, like, I actually never had a lot of trouble with that. So what you've noticed that Meta's been doing a couple of times throughout, like, just this first early part of the level is he's doing what's called a quad jump. And that was one of the first little bits of movement tech that was found very early on. Basically, you have a dash mechanic and you have a double jump. But if you can only dash once you're midair, but for whatever reason, the game still thinks you are on the ground after you dash off of a ledge, and then if you jump within about a half a second, that registers your first jump, and then you can dash and double jump again. So you get 4 little bits of movement right off the bat, and that lets you cover some pretty huge gaps that you ordinarily should not be able to clear.
Oh, by the way, you're just given a bunch of enemies right there. You can just run past them. You aren't required to kill them. You can just continue.
Yeah, there's a lot of that in this game. This being any percent, we are going to skip most of the combat.
We're skipping almost all of the combat.
We calculated it right before we went live. 4 encounters. You do 4 encounters minus boss fights.
Yep.
Yeah, 6 if you include boss fights. That's it.
And also, you'll notice I tried to stay out of the air as much as possible. Staying on the ground and dashing is much faster.
That dragon is toast.
Because every time you dash, you go up to about 30 meters per second.
And the nice thing is when you're on the ground, the game knows to push you down onto the ground while you're in the middle of a dash. It's like if you're on a downward slope and you dash forward, the game knows to change your y-axis so that you're not mid-air dashing forward. It pushes you down so you stay on the ground, so you get to retain that momentum as you keep dashing.
Oh yeah.
Forward.
Also, don't mind. We're doing some totally intended platforming. They meant for you to go this way. All this has collision.
This is definitely not out of bounds at all.
We are skipping an arena, and because you can just move here. You'll notice Shadow Warrior 3 is like a movement shooter, very similar to the modern Doom games, etc. But to do that, they did not put enough barriers around to stop us from literally just platforming. Normally Doom or 2016 has like these crazy tricks that get you out of the area. This, you can literally just jump to a lot of it. It's a lot of out-of-bounds platforming.
And that's okay. It's so much fun. Yeah, you basically, a lot of this is just using whatever movement tech you have in your toolkit to just get out of bounds.
Oh, this is a bit of a hard platforming section. Can Meta get it?
No, okay, second try. It's okay.
Yeah, this is a really tough trick.
This is something that I was worried about.
You have to like jump onto an invisible wall that's just above collision. It's very hard to know the visual cues for it. So
3rd time's a charm.
What are you talking about? First 2 times for practice. You'll get it first try this time.
You got this.
Oh, no, okay. I'm just gonna go do the fight, but trust me, it's a cool skip. I promise.
It's a cool skip. It's also really, really precise, and I mean the wall you're standing on is not very wide, so it's very, and you can't see a lot of the collision in the game. Like one of the early little bits of like one of the early tools we got was a collision viewer. That was actually, it was originally created for Ghost Runner, which is another UE4 game, but the guy who wrote it was able to kind of take that model and bring it over to Shadow Warrior 3, and being able to see collision really helped a lot. But then once you turn that collision viewer off, it's, I mean, it's an educated guess, but it's a guessing game.
I mean, you may notice Meta was having a bit of trouble in that fight because we skipped some guns. Normally we don't do that fight in any percent, but look, we suddenly have guns. This game does the great thing of, if you skip guns, it just gives them to you at the next level.
Yeah, it does a spot check every level to make sure that you have what you're supposed to have, and so if you're missing it for whatever reason, the game just corrects that by making sure your loadout is corrected at the beginning of each level.
Yeah, that was totally intentional movement to where now we have the grapple hook, a staple of every FPS game nowadays.
That load checkpoint is actually a new discovery, and the only reason I'm doing that is because it is actually faster RTA as well. Just skips the entire like grapple animation when you pick it up for the first time.
Yeah, it's faster by I think 1 entire second, right?
Yeah, something like that. But hey, it's 1 second faster to making this faster than grappleless. There is actually a strat where you skip the grapple and it's about 5 seconds faster, but it's kind of booty cheeks, I'm not gonna lie. And so I haven't adopted that into my runs yet.
Yeah, this arena in particular was actually patched by the devs. They put a barrier in place to prevent the player from jumping and skipping the arena, but luckily there's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say, and you can just kind of squeeze your way through one of those windows and jump on some collision that still exists on the outside of the arena.
Speaking of skipping arenas, we're about to do that again. You just jump on that ledge. That's all you got to do. In that whole arena, you just walk on past it.
Yeah, the problem with that particular skip though is if you miss that, you land in the arena. There's no way to load checkpoint to go back in, and you're stuck doing the fight. So that's a full like run reset. Ooh.
I almost restarted the level.
You are a lucky man. You didn't do that.
Okay, this trick is tricky. Who would have thought?
I mean, the level's just so cool. Meta was thinking about how we would want to see it again.
Yeah, we want to see the level again, exactly.
I mean, this is a pretty game.
I wasn't having issues with this in practice at all, but
it's always the stuff that you don't expect to trouble you, that you struggle with, and then it's the really hard tricks you get first try in a marathon.
We skipped another arena too, by the way. We're skipping a lot of things. You'll notice a theme throughout this run.
Yeah, there was an old skip for that arena that used the grapple hook, and basically you block yourself in a spot out of bounds and use the grapple hook to launch yourself really high, and it was really cool, but then a faster route, which isn't as cool, got discovered, and if it's faster, it's faster. So
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, you got it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah. So that tech was called Snapple because you would use the grapple to get stuck in a spot, and then it would basically snap you up because you build velocity. So we called it a Snapple.
Oh, we have combat. You guys are gonna love
the first combat of the game.
There's these traps that they give that instant kill enemies, and we're basically just going to abuse that the whole time. You may notice that he's firing 4 shots at once with the shotgun. That's a quick tech which you probably won't see again, called Scroll Fire, where it's way too complicated to explain in a timely manner. Maybe we have some downtime later, but basically we're firing the whole clip at once for now.
This is interesting.
You're hovering at 1 hit point like for much longer than you're making me comfortable with.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, and if you load checkpoint there, you skip a long drawn out section where you're just standing around. For whatever reason, the checkpoint puts you right before the fade out, which I don't really quite understand why they programmed it that way, but that's how it works.
Oh, do you guys like inbounds movement? Because you'll really love this level.
Yeah, there's a lot of inbounds movement in this level.
We play through this just as the devs intended.
Absolutely.
The devs definitely wanted you to go up through this branch and see the entire level like this. This is...
You say
I just want to point out, like, at the moment where the whole level, like, loaded in and you were seeing the whole thing, the frame rate on the viewer in Discord went up by, like, 10 frames a second.
this game has better performed when it's not working intended. Is that indicative of something?
Well, it just means that you got to start running any percent, right, Drew?
I still have to learn
this
80%
is-
strats that are useful for mine, and I don't want to do it. I mean, why do all this out of bounds movement when you can easily just kill everything?
What the hell is going on?
By the way, that was the entire level. You skipped literally every single fight in that entire level.
Yeah.
One of the most broken levels, I think, in the run.
Oh, definitely. I'm gonna go for something here.
Oh, I know this trick.
Oh,
Let's go.
he got it.
Yeah, we better bail.
That's new. I just learned that, and I'm very surprised I got it first try.
Yeah, normally you're supposed to go into the lake, hop across these islands to this waterfall where the dam is, but if you're quick and you aim at the right spot, you could just move along the edge to where you would normally just progress like about 2 minutes into the level.
It saves like maybe 5 seconds or so.
I was gonna say like about 3, but yeah, it's not a significant time save, but man, it's cool to pull it off.
I wouldn't have normally had to do that load checkpoint, but I was just a bit low and I was falling. So thankfully, you hit the checkpoint. Like the trigger to hit the checkpoint is a bit wider than the actual area itself. So yeah, I was able to use that as a backup.
We're about to go to a building that has OSHA violations, so instead we're going to skip around it. Stay safe, you know.
I gotta say, from a design perspective, that building is terrifying because it looks like it's just ready to fall apart.
Oh, guys, shh. Best joke in the game.
That was freaking rad. Is that a grappling hook?
Yeah. Everybody has
Yes,
one now,
very
man.
good. The writing in this game is interesting.
I think the writing's actually really funny, but it is like the main character's name. If you don't know the Shadow Warrior series, the main character's name is Lo Wang, and with a name like that, you can imagine that there's a lot of phallus jokes made throughout the game. And right, Joe, I'm gonna have to correct you. The best joke in the game is actually in the last level.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'll point it out when we get there.
Okay, because the other only joke I think that can compete is in the level actually right before that.
I named 2 skips after jokes in chapter 12-2 because I love them.
Yeah, so let's just say this game, it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is honestly a good thing. But
That's kind of one of the significant things about the Shadow Warrior series is it never takes itself super seriously.
Also, you're not supposed to move when you pick up weapons, but if you tap the weapon wheel key as you pick it up, it gives you your movement back. So that just saves you 5 free seconds.
And this is the beefiest gun in the game, by the way. This thing's a monster.
It's called the Basilisk, and it's great, it's awesome, it's practically just a railgun.
Yeah, so at this point of the game, we already have our alpha rotation. Do you guys want to explain alpha rotation?
I can do that. So the alpha rotation is a term that was coined. I think we really officially coined it in Doom 2016 because it refers to the method of quick swapping between multiple weapons in order to maximize DPS. Because typically when you fire a weapon, there's a cooldown period before you can fire it again. Well, in order to bypass that, if you fire the weapon and then switch to another one, you can immediately fire the second weapon while the first weapon is cooling down. Or in the case of Doom Eternal, you completely negate the cooldown and you can swap between just 2 weapons. In Doom 2016, the cooldown still exists, so we swap between 3 different weapons, but you get a tremendous amount of damage output all at once when you do that, and that allows you to basically clear entire arenas much faster than you normally otherwise would. And that was a method that was devised back in Doom 2016 when the 100% category was being created.
Really quick here, this
here's
is a
a
Snapple.
Here's a Snapple, yeah.
I forgot we had those still.
Yeah, I forgot about this one too.
Olympics, maybe?
Basically what happens is if you're interrupted in between you and your grappling hook target, it will automatically snap you to it, give you a lot of speed, and we use that just to skip that arena early.
And I think that's the only one in the game now, because there used to be I
think so.
3 or 4,
Yeah.
but now that's I think the only one.
The only one in the current
Unfortunate.
route.
We
Kind of like how we only use scroll fire once.
It is interesting though to have like a variety of tech, and I think all arenas and all physical orbs definitely demonstrate that better. But it's nice to see that it is still. It's still relevant in 80%, even if it's only used once, right? Like one Snapple and one instance of like the I don't know, what are we calling that weapon tech? That's like that was discovered like
scroll firing.
Scroll firing, yeah, that was found what 3-4 days ago, like.
Yeah, it was like a week ago, but yeah, it was like very recent. It was found.
Oh, should mention this isn't a typical weapon that meta typically has. However, this game has this great mechanic to where if you glory kill, I mean finish something, you take its corpse and you use it as a weapon, and that weapon is a firework launcher.
Yeah.
And every bigger enemy has one of those bigger weapons. Is it the what's the one blade?
I thought you were dead.
The Hattori?
The Hattori, thank you. The Hattori blade. God, that thing is so unfairly slanted in your favor.
Yeah, and we don't actually we don't fight a single Hattori in 80% anymore, and so we don't get the gore tool.
Cough, cough, if you want to see combat, there's this great category called All Arenas that forces you to do all the combat.
Indeed.
Hey, over here, you idiots!
Oh, this is a simple arena to where this barrier, normally these vines turn yellow and we skip it. However, when they're say purple, we just climb on them and use them to slide through a little hole.
And we've been doing that a few times throughout the run. There's a few more areas where that happens. In fact, there's one where the hole in the vine is just literally like on the ground, so you can slide underneath the vines and skip the arena. Feels like that was a little bit of an oversight.
Yeah, a little bit. Oh,
Which
speaking
again
of which,
is fine.
we skipped like 15 million sections of movement, but whatever.
It's okay. We have backups. It's all good.
Yeah, so there's a big fight that you do here, and then after the fight, you're supposed to do a little platforming puzzle to, basically get some moving platforms to get up into this area. But if you know where to jump and you know where to land, you can skip the whole thing. Oh no!
It's okay.
Wait, did you just not wall run there for some reason?
I'm trying to implement more wall boosts, which I don't think we've actually talked about yet.
Oh yeah, wall boosts. They're basic.
Pretty new too.
They've
we're
been known.
We're starting to get more of an understanding of them. Oh boy, this is interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, wall boosts, they've been known since like the early days of the game. However, like implementing them has been a bit weird. Basically, whenever you jump off like one of those vine walls that you wall run on, if you look like towards like parallel with the wall, you gain a little bit of a speed boost from when you jump off. And that's just useful for like literally like small time saves over the course of the run.
This skip sucks, by the way. This skip is absolute booty.
You watched me get this first try in while we were doing setup, and then, of course, during the run. Oh no!
The collision on this wall is just like so weirdly drawn, and you have to do some like really specific jumps to get up onto this platform. And then once you're up here, you can kind of just scale and jump at the same time to climb it, but it's so weird and inconsistent getting onto that spot.
Yeah, there is a setup for it, but it's tricky.
I do have some donations.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so we got our first $5 donation from J-Chalk. I am so excited for the start of the marathon. Good luck to all the runners, organizers, and to the chat. Let's start this off with a $5 donation train. All aboard! And that went towards the Dark Souls 3 first or second boss, only using one hand to fight that boss. And then he put in a Save the Animals for Metroid. We also have a $100 donation from Cheese Reaver that says, as someone with crippling addiction to oxygen, I like trees being a thing. And that went towards Death's Door reading the Frog King's name aloud. That incentive has been met, and that also went towards Metroid Save the Frames. The battle is on for the Metroid Save the Frames versus Save the Animals already.
All right, thank you for that.
That was a great comment, by the way.
That's actually fantastic. But yeah, we just skipped 2 arenas. Actually, wait, 1 arena. We're about to skip 2.
What was that?
That was me just showing the arena.
What? That shot was RNG manipulation?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's RNG minute.
Oh, we're upgrading things. We upgrade the shotgun twice because this gives us full auto, which greatly increases the rate of fire, and then we get extra ammo for the grenade launcher because grenade launcher does a lot of damage, and we want more bullets to shoot things at.
Yeah, pretty much.
Retro. It's called the Crimson Bull, not the grenade launcher.
Listen, if you call that anything else other than the grenade launcher, that's some bull right there, okay?
No, you did not just say that.
He did.
How many of them are?
But this is Retro. We expect this out of him.
The Crimson Bull.
The Crimson Bull. This is one of the funniest skips because you can just literally climb the wall. It's like the easiest skip in the world, and it almost seems like the devs like left that there on purpose because it's so
We're getting closer.
obviously like an oversight.
Okay, now here is for, you know, just be polite. We want to make you all sure. Do not look towards the top of your screen.
This is called the Ancient Chicken.
Yeah, the
Ancient
ancient chicken.
Chicken.
This is the Ancient
no
Chicken
other
fight.
name.
It's not called anything else. It's just the Ancient Chicken. But yeah,
Again.
it's the first boss fight of the game.
Here, we're going to be doing the alpha rotation, as Dane said earlier, where we're going to be swapping between Crimson Bull, Basilisk, and the shotgun, just to deal optimal DPS shooting into this thing. And basically, we'll just keep swapping. There'll be a few ammo pickups we'll pick up during the time, just so that we'll have,
And it's
enough ammo
dead.
to kill it.
GG, everyone.
Woo! Good boss fight.
We killed the Ancient Chicken. Everybody gets drumsticks tonight. Yay!
We're gonna make chicken sashimi.
That doesn't sound very good.
Wait,
Retro.
raw chicken on white rice doesn't sound good to you? What?
No,
a good
I
thing
like
Copper can't hear this.
not spending that much time in my bathroom.
Do you all want to know a fun fact? A chicken can still run with its head cut off.
And then it grows
look.
eyes out of its pelvis?
Yeah.
Something like
mean-
that?
It's legs with an eye. What would you even call that?
Terrifying. Another
Also
fun fact,
absolute
this arena can
banger.
soft lock on you, actually.
I think that's been fixed. Thankfully.
Has it been fixed?
Thankfully, yes. And that's another thing I suppose to mention. Big shout outs to the devs. For whether intentionally or not, this is still viable on current patch. As we are demonstrating this, current patch is still viable, and we're hoping to keep it that way. We'll see, you know.
Yeah. The
but-
most they did is they put out one skip we did in that dam, which is the level with the dam. Who would have thought?
They also fixed one in level 2, but it was like they fixed one, they changed one thing, and then it ended up just leading to finding another skip that does it exactly the same way. So
Oh, just to mention, this platforming section, complete bullocks. It's bad. The rocks aren't where you see them. It just makes you fall sometimes.
It's kind of weird.
it's not the greatest platforming section in the game for sure.
Oh, hey, look at this sliding path that we're gonna Tony Hawk down.
Skip drove me absolutely up the wall trying to learn this. This was like, because here's the thing: if you go too far out, you die. If you stay too close to the wall, you die. If you spin the wrong way, you die. Like you could. That
I'm
skip is so
skirting
annoying.
a bunch. I'm skirting so many death planes by doing that.
You have
Yeah.
no idea how much meta's just threaded the needle between like 15 death planes right there.
Seriously.
Like, it is super precise.
This is one of the skips I practiced a lot.
I see it, Wang. It's a
Yeah, I would say that's probably one of the hardest like the one in the boss fight in the last level was annoying, but I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard. That one that he just did is like a
Also-
very, very tough one.
I have my live split open just for comparison, and that was a gold, by the way.
GG's.
Ooh, let's
Very
go.
nice.
There's some kind of ancient.
Okay, now this is a lazy river, you know, nice and chill. Actually, one of the more stressful parts of the run. Do you guys want to explain why?
I'm always stressed during the lazy river.
So
This
no shitty
section is an
rituals,
obstacle where we're on a
dancing circles, or
platform to where
stupid-ass
once we get quote-unquote docked at an area where we go onto the ground to fight some enemies, the platform just kind of continues on. However, if you're quick enough, you can jump back on the platform as it's leaving and skip like 2 combat areas.
If
So-
you're quick enough.
So basically, it's like
And
a
if
trip
you
to
fail
Vegas.
it, you lose a minute and a half.
Yep.
Because you have to watch this whole ride again.
Yep.
I've practiced this a lot, but I do have a backup save just in case,
Stop shooting at me. This is
Smart.
because I don't want to have to repeat this whole lazy river section. But yeah, it's not a hard trick. It's just more so the pressure of, wow, if I miss this, I'm going to lose a minute and a half. And basically at a high level, your run's just dead. You know, like
Yeah, this is a run killer section for sure.
I have another donation.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So Shadow Nilmaster donates $10. Good luck to all the runners, and that went towards the Final Fantasy X Titus laugh cutscene. Everyone on mic has to laugh during that cutscene, and it also went towards the Infernax Good versus Evil, where you're picking the good ending for the leader right
sorry.
now.
Meta just nailed it.
He nailed a very tough jump first try, and that's the thing that if you miss that, that's a minute and a half gone. So
Yeah.
he nailed
and
it.
it's,
So
it
good
skips a
job.
lot too. There's a fight there, and there's a fight over here as well. So that's 2 fights we skipped by just riding the raft. There was a lot of like glitch hunting and trying to like find different strats to skip the arenas individually. And then I believe it was Sin. Shout out to Sin and
Sin.
83 for finding a bunch of skips. Sin was just like, just ride the raft. And it was like, holy crap, dude. If you just get back on the raft, you could just continue the level. Really fantastic.
But you have to jump that very like precisely, and you have to be quick because that raft will move out of range if you don't jump on like at a very precise time to get on that platform.
How is any of this my fault? And
It
how
looked
could
like
I
you
be
jumped
stupid
early,
and
but
idiot?
you ended up getting it quickly enough.
I mean, it was close. Like
It was
It
close.
was closer than I would have liked. I accidentally put in a slide, but where I would normally put in a dash, and I had to kind of think on the fly, like, oh no, am I gonna jump too early? Am I gonna jump too late? And it ended up working out, so it's all good.
okay,
This platforming right here is I think saves 25 seconds.
This is, yeah, like it's pretty decent.
Pretty decent chunk.
Even in previous routes, we've skipped all of the fights, but this is super direct. We don't have to go into any of the arenas or anything.
Yeah, we skip another 2 arenas by doing this out of bounds movement, which adds up. Definitely skipping all these arenas.
So I'm gonna try and hit the trigger here. Okay, nice. Usually if you go to the left of the tree, it works.
What the heck in there? Time and temperature.
So yeah, I'm actually only about 30 seconds behind my PB right now because my PB is awful.
Right.
Whoa, no, Meta, you are top tier player. You like, come on, people in the audience, they don't know. We
You're a
just say
moderator.
that
You have to
you're
have
doing
a good time. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So the thing is, previous to this marathon, I hadn't run in like a while, and I spent like a couple days or so learning the new tricks. And then since then, I've just been like practicing levels rather than doing runs. So this has a chance of PBing. I am behind at the moment,
Unfiltered.
but it is possible.
There are a few skips, like in later levels, that were recently discovered that save literal
close.
minutes.
Anyone
Yeah.
who's played a video game
Oh,
That's
by the
close,
way,
that
we
was
just
good.
skipped the whole level.
Yeah, that was
That was
the
the
whole
entire level.
And that deload, or rather, the loading of the collision can be kind of slow there.
Oh, here's
And
something
I-
super funny. This wall, it's meant to prevent you. You can just slide under it.
Yep, that's the one
Yeah.
I was talking about, where you could just slide under the vines and you're at the end of the level. You're done.
That was also a gold. I'm now 1.7 seconds ahead of my PB.
OG,
Nice.
Let's go.
where the hell are you?
Watch this guy get a PB during the marathon.
Right.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Imagine if Meta world
Monka.
records during the marathon.
Oh, that's not
get
gonna
the
happen.
clickbait.
That's not gonna happen. I'm many minutes behind 83 right now for
Yeah,
sure.
83. If you don't know them, they're like world record holder at this point. They have like a 43-minute time. It's insane.
Yep. I was the world record holder for a little while, pretty much just by default because no one else was really running. And I got a 53, and I was like, this is pretty hype. I'm very excited about this. And then both Sin and 83 come along, and they're like, nah,
Stomped.
here's another 10 minutes of skips.
Oh, yeah.
I was
shout
like,
out to
oh, wow.
shout out to another prevalent Shadow Warrior 3 community member, Speedrun Sins.
Yes.
We just skipped a fight literally just by going under a platform we were supposed to go over.
Yeah, that's a skip I found, and I dubbed it Aussie skip,
Okay.
because you go down under. That's about it, really.
Really nice. Really nice.
Probably climbed to the
Oh,
heights
we get onto this invisible wall here to skip some wall running
I
section.
don't need that know-it-all to find
And then we do a quad jump to skip another arena.
Yeah, there's some collision like in midair that you land on in order to reset. Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah, that happens sometimes.
Hit the death plane just as you got to the grapple point.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
It's a pretty tight jump there. Luckily,
Yeah,
if you-
the
if you-
kill floor is pretty much right where you start off from.
Yeah.
So,
It's funny how the kill floors were drawn like really well throughout everything except for that one arena where you jump underneath, where you do Aussie skip, and because that one they didn't draw it out far enough, and that's why you were able to skip that whole thing.
Oh wow. Okay, third time's a charm, right? That's been the rule so
Well,
far.
it's like Retro said, the first two are practice, so this is the first try.
Yes.
Yeah, I hope you all don't mind that we're doing just a little bit of practice to get this part of the skip, you know, well ready. You know, just to make it so that when we get this part, it's way more satisfying. And
There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
There you go.
easy trick first
You had a lot
try
of height
every
on that
time.
one, so that was the big difference there.
Okay, wall boosts are failed, but that's okay. But yeah, basically, I don't know if we explained wall boosts, but you get more speed by mounting or dismounting a wall. And so trying to just be in that state rather than the actual running state is better. And not only that, if you time a jump precisely as you like do the leaving animation of a wall run, you get like, I don't know, I think it's like 30 or 35 units of speed, so which is much higher. The default wall running speed is about 12, I believe.
Meta, do you even listen to me when I do these explanations in this marathon?
Sorry, I was focused.
Oh, by the way, you can just climb this wall. You can just climb this wall.
So the reason you can climb that wall is because I went around to the other side of the arena and I never triggered the arena. Once you trigger the arena, there's like a more collision that gets added to that spot.
Where the hell are you, Jose?
And you can't do that, so we just go around.
There is still collision there, but the collision on the right side doesn't load in until you proc the arena, and so that's why you're able to kind of run up the right side of those vines, because the actual model, like if you look at it through a collision viewer, there's like a very specific type of collision that's drawn there, and it's basically the game's way of saying, okay, if you hit this you can climb just like that. And it's still, there's enough of a patch there that you can just kind of run up the side and skip that whole arena.
And hi, welcome to Frozen Wayfarer's Forest, where a lot of it is like intentional movement.
That mother freezing ice in this mother freezing forest.
Then we have this, well, we have one of the last combat arenas right at the end of this as well, which is great.
Does this count as an arena?
No. It does not. You can skip every
it's a
enemy
hallway.
if you just walk on past it. Hey, once we get to Intestinal Inspector, there are some encounters that are counted that are just hallways, so...
This
Do we have
isn't a
time for
hallway
another
shooter.
donation?
Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
Dep Conte, I'm pronouncing that terribly. Decap and 316 donates $20 that says go trees. Did not go towards any of the incentives. Don't forget you can pick incentives when you go to donate. So we have bid wars, we have prizes, we have all sorts of cool stuff that you can either force runners to do or get as a thing. Shadow Warrior 3, which is being run right now, is being given away as part of a 20. There are 20 packs of 10 games from Devolver Digital, and Shadow Warrior 3 is one of those games.
Yeah.
And it's awesome.
Okay, because we just have a lot of boring movement, do you mind if I explain the intricacies of Scrollfire?
I do not want you to. Please don't do that.
Okay, well, Scrollfire was a trick we did literally for one encounter, and it's very complicated because this game has like a hot swap system to where if you are out of ammo in your current gun and you swap to another one, it automatically reloads. So if you if you're firing the shotgun, swap to the revolver, swap back to the shotgun, you can fire immediately because it's reloading. Now, our theory for why Scrollfire works is that we bind a weapon we don't have to the scroll wheel, and when we hold down left click and we scroll, it tries to swap to another weapon, but it can't because we don't have that weapon yet. And so then it just brings us back to our other gun, but because we swapped weapons, it refreshes our fire so that we can just fire the gun as fast as we can scroll.
Rest in peace.
And what's funny, that's not even like an engine specific thing. That's just specific to this game. It's just the way they coded it in this game only.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, actually. It adds, for all arenas
I like
specifically, it adds a lot of depth to the first few levels, because you can picture, if we have all the weapons, like in this state where we have all the weapons, we actually can't use it. So all this is combat as intended. But unfortunately, I don't know.
Do not have a lot of bullets.
You've got a face that only
Oh,
a
we should
mother
also
could
mention, this game has a lot of, like, interplay between mechanics. Like, if you shoot enemies, when you kill them, they give you health. If you katana enemies, they give you ammo. And, yeah, that's basically it. It takes the design approach of combat gives you rewards.
You do have to upgrade the katana to get ammo from enemies, though.
I don't
You
know
get
why
to get
I'm
ammo
so
from
low on
slashes.
ammo.
If you kill an enemy from a slash, you always get ammo.
Oh, that's what. That's right. That's right. Thank you.
The upgrade just gives it to you any slash. Well, not any slash. It's super weird, actually. The katana, it has a chance to give you ammo per slash. So it's not necessarily when you get the upgrade, you just get ammo at every slash. It's like about every 3 or 4 slashes, actually.
Yeah.
Which is still super useful, but it kind of sucks when it's unreliable, when you're in the middle of a wave and you routed out that you need to katana this enemy to get ammo back, then it doesn't give you ammo back. It can be a
Yeah,
bit frustrating.
and this being like one of the probably like the most combat heavy section of the game, where you're actually fighting enemies and not just a boss. We can point out the fact that a lot of the combat design in this game was kind of modeled after Doom Eternal, where Doom Eternal came out and sort of created this new combat meta of very limited ammo capacity, where when you're at max ammo you still don't have very much, and so you have to use the ads around an arena to refill your ammo as you go, and sort of treat them like walking ammo caches that can hurt you if you let them get too close. And so you have these infinitely spawning ads that you use to fight the bigger enemies. It's sort of like a situation where you're a vampire and you have to feed on the thralls in order to bulk yourself up so that you can take on the bigger vampire hunters and be able to actually kill them quickly and efficiently.
Yeah, here's the first. We are now fully upgraded in terms of any progression we get just by playing the game. We got all 3 charges on our finisher meter, all our weapons. There was a question from chat saying about scroll shooting. Scroll shooting applies to every weapon that is not a one-shot magazine, so pistol, shotgun, submachine guns. May notice you've never seen the submachine guns. Submachine guns just aren't optimal for the speedrun. They're a very low source of DPS. Oh, by the way, Leap of Faith.
sacrifice for that, but
It's not really a leap of faith. This jump's pretty free, but
Once again, though, you do go pretty close to a death.
yeah, you do. But as long as you aim properly. Oh,
Okay, no,
what?
okay, wait, hold on.
Save.
You can save this, I think. Never mind.
That's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate. That's,
tried.
That's just coming down to an early quad jump.
Yeah,
That's
you
okay.
may notice that we used to have a different skip for this, and then they kind of patched out that grapple behind us. You can't actually access that until you finish the previous arena. So instead, we have to do this platforming version.
Which
Yeah,
I think is
and it's-
faster anyway.
It's
isn't it?
faster anyway, so.
Yeah.
So devs incentivized us to find a faster strat. You gotta thank them for it. They knew about it. That's why they patched it out. They knew we could be faster. Oh, there's another arena right here.
Bye.
Skipped.
dragon's here.
And now we have
Catch it.
a auto-scroller section to where we just are on a disc.
It's
an
auto
auto-scroll.
scroll. It's auto scroll ish. You can reach certain triggers faster, and you could save like some seconds. But
The amount of time you save,
Yeah.
perfectly executing it versus just riding the wave is not
Pretty
a
much.
significant amount of time at all.
but
It's
yeah,
on the
there's
order of a
it's
couple
actually
seconds.
it's interesting because you swap models either once or twice. This same rock, you're not riding the whole time. Sometimes you have to like divert away from the rock, and so instead of it being the same rock, a new one spawns. And so if you can trigger that new one to spawn quickly, then you've saved that amount of time. That's about
Yeah,
it,
you,
really.
you do get to save a lot of time if you can get the next Dwayne Johnson to pop up sooner.
Get me out of here,
Next,
Zilla.
Dwayne.
This is funny. So these platforms that have these yellow spikes sticking out of them, they have like a regular HP counter, and you just have to deal like X amount of damage to them to break them, instead of having like one big explosion breaks them open. You can shoot the pistol at them, and as soon as you deplete the health counter, it breaks, which is not normally how an environmental hazard like that is treated in a lot of games. So it's kind of interesting that they programmed it this way.
Yeah. So coming up, we have this, which is the last bit. We're going to say bye to Dwayne Johnson.
Bye, Dwayne Johnson.
By Dwayne Johnson.
Oh, and you can save about 0.5 seconds here if you do a quad jump into the final trigger, but don't do it because I tried to do it yesterday while I was about 3 minutes ahead of my PB, and then I failed it and got sent back 3 minutes.
Clap.
So it's not
Hyperclap.
worth it. Don't save those 0.5 seconds. It's not worth it.
We can't stop him without the map.
I mean, it is worth it if you don't F it.
If you don't mess it up, yeah.
Still do this.
Okay, so we are now looking at the final boss, High Dragon, who is also the tutorial level.
You know anyone stupid enough to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, so this whole goal of this game, we were trying to kill this dragon, believe it or not.
It's like a world eater type deal. The dragon is like, I don't know, using the world as an energy source or something. I kind of forget the story, honestly. I'm not gonna lie.
If you tune into Shadow Warrior 3 for the story, I interest you in literally any other story in any other game ever. Like you tune in for combat, parkour, and Wang jokes. That's the reason why you
it
play
is
this game.
good. Like the writing's great,
Yeah.
but it's just it's not the focus. The focus is the comedy and the gameplay, because the gameplay is super awesome.
You guys joke, but I actually really like the Shadow Warrior story.
I don't know why.
Specifically 1 and 3. I think 2 is a bit lame.
I am
Oh,
guilty
you don't like
of
having a spirit in your
having
head?
Well,
I have not
no, you have a
finished
spirit in your
2
head in
or 1
all
and 2.
4, in all 3.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, it's not really so much in 3. 3 is more like it's in 2, you have a spirit stuck in your head, just like he got stuck on that rock. In this one, it's you're trying to kill a dragon. It's a little different. But
Great,
yeah, it's,
great metaphor, Meta. I'm so glad that we planned this out. This is all scripted, by the way.
Yeah, that was
everything went as
100% intentional.
This is all scripted, but the run is live. It's chat that's pre-recorded.
Up with it.
So yeah, I'm just gonna get to the ground here as soon as I can, and I'm trying not to use jumps. Once again, just because dashing as much as possible is very fast. I am failing at wall boosts for this entire run.
So just as a reminder for everybody, we are riding a dragon. Like we're on the body of a dragon right now.
Not yet.
But no,
We will be
isn't this
shortly.
part of it?
No, it's
It might
not.
be.
This isn't actually. We
I
are.
remember the part where you like get flung outward and you fly right by it. So it looks like you're running along the dragon's
You are on
torso.
a cliff beneath the dragon.
We're
At
trying
this
to
next
get on
cutscene,
the
you hop onto it.
dragon. This? No way! What?
How did you do that?
I didn't even know that was possible to save. I just tried and it worked.
All right.
An
You would have
OG.
been sent back like about 20 seconds of movement, but just like save that. That's impressive.
That was unreal. I can't believe you pulled that off.
I mean, that was more impressive than actually getting what was intended. Let's be real here.
This is true.
See, there's the dragon. See, we're about to jump onto it.
Well, that's the dragon's head. It could have been that we were riding along one of the segments of its body beforehand.
Do I have to explain to you how translational relative positions work?
Look, you don't need to explain anything to me, Rytro, Mr. PhD.
Okay, like this is just Galilean relativity here, okay?
Oh, yes. That.
So a small section where you have to actually kill these enemies to deload these vines. Wasn't there a way to skip this early on and they got rid of it? Or?
No, there is actually an out of bounds that you can do on current patch here, but it only saves about maybe 5 seconds again, so
Oh, okay.
I haven't really worried about it. I'm going to try and group these together for that extra splash damage.
Yeah,
I have to wait to progress here because otherwise it'll like warp me backwards.
Oh, by the way, what we did there, last combat encounter you'll be seeing. All we have is the final
except
boss
for the
fight.
except for the final boss, yeah.
Except for the boss fight.
Yeah, so we'll just be doing some platforming, and we'll be moving along this dragon, getting into it, because...
Now we're on the dragon's body.
Yes. There's also a landing animation there that if you just kind of go a bit further and off to the side, you can skip the trigger for it, which is an easy 5 seconds. I'm going to keep quiet for these next 2 skips because these are tricky. So if you guys want to explain them.
This is totally called Fustercluck setup.
Yeah, this is called Fustercluck skip, and chat, you can anagram that however you would like.
Basically, what happens is we have to do that combat out there. That combat is actually kind of a long combat, about a minute and a half worth of just optimal combat. But we're just going to skip over all of the platforming and get onto this moving hand. Fun fact about this moving hand: it looks different further away than it does up close. And because we skipped the trigger to change it, we get the far away animation. So it has this like rise and falling. We don't want it. So we actually hit a trigger here that kind of, that resets it back to the up close.
There's
position.
a reason this is called Fustercluck.
Yeah, look at how the visual clutter. It's like I'm playing a game of Overwatch here.
I didn't even know you could go through the floor there. I've never seen anybody do that. There we go. Okay. Now it's all working properly.
Now it's in its default position. We can get out of bounds on an invisible wall, climb up it, and completely avoid this combat encounter too.
So I'm doing what's called a wall climb. And that's what's used to skip all of Chapter 8 as well. And basically, it's just where two bits of collision meet. And you can kind of just like jump out and jump back in and get stuck. And sorry, I'm very worried about falling through here.
This is a concentration point, so.
No. Oh, he's going. So we're trying to hit a trigger.
There we go, nice.
And Lo Wang covers their eyes because we don't want to see that the devs are teleporting Wang right now to the next location.
Smart.
That is actually what's happening.
Yeah, this is.
By the way.
I looked at this with like our trainer we have. Shout out to DMG Vol, by the way. But yeah, it's like a couple thousand units away. I think like it's pretty far.
Oh, another section we can like just climb on the vines. Like it's that easy. Their climbing like trigger is like further than the vines are, and we can just skip it.
You can get stuck on those vines though.
Yeah,
it is true. But imagine you get flung up into the air by a magical force. What's your first instinct? Cover your eyes. Yeah, obviously.
I hate those freaking demons.
Wang censoring himself for the marathon. Thank you, Wang.
I think we're getting into the last little stretch before we enter the dragon's mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
If you have anything to read, now would be a pretty good time as we get into the mouth.
Sure. So we have tons of cool stuff for everyone to donate to. Let me just pull that up.
I'm gonna do something really stupid.
So we have Death Store read out the Frog King's name. That was met recently. Upcoming, we have Onimusha special outfits. So if you guys want to see some goofy outfits in Onimusha, go ahead and donate towards that. We also have Pico Park World 5 coming up. So if you want to see World 5 in Pico Park be done, make sure to donate to that as well. Once again, we're donating every dollar plants one tree somewhere in the world. So, I mean, if you think a dollar doesn't do a whole lot, just think of how much oxygen that will be created by one tree. It's actually quite a bit. So, definitely make sure you get that done. Green Gaming is all about speedrunning to save the planet. Each year, we're picking a charity that is looking to make an impact on our climate crisis. We have one planet to live on, and we should do what we can to make sure we can coexist. This year, we're supporting One Tree Planted.
Yeah. Can we just mention, right at the end there, in order to enter the dragon, we kicked in a window?
Yes, that is true.
Because why not?
This dragon just has, it's got great window panes installed. Oh, we're inside the dragon, by the way, because we have to blow this thing up from the inside.
Yeah.
So don't worry, if you think this run was dragging on for a bit too long, this is the last stretch.
Anyways. So fun little 6 degrees of separation here. This is the chapter where we enter the dragon. That is a Bruce Lee film, and the voice actor for Lo Wang in this game is Mike Moh, who played Bruce Lee in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood back in 2018. Fun little Kevin Bacon thing going on there. Whoa.
Here, this level has like the biggest combat arenas in the game because this is literally the final trek towards, the final boss.
The boss, yeah.
Yeah. So every skip here that skips an arena saves minutes, and I'm not joking.
This fight, I think skipping this fight is like 4 minutes by itself.
It is.
It's a bit less than that. The next fight is actually way longer.
Okay, well, it's 4 minutes if you are slow at combat.
And yeah, so that skip was called Wang Fuya. Fuya stands for one of the voice lines that Lo Wang says in that arena, and I love it so much, so I named the skip after it. That version of the skip, though, was found by 83, much better than the initial version that I found, but...
Should we say the voice, the joke that he says?
Yeah, do it, Dane.
He says so. Just forewarning for everybody is a little bit inappropriate language in this joke, but he says, "I bet you guys didn't expect to see a wang this far up your ass."
Yeah, so that's why we call the skip after that voice line. Also, this one is called Wang Bang, and I'm very much struggling with it right now.
This is a tricky one, admittedly.
Meta, the devs are obviously intending for you to go in that tunnel. Why aren't you doing that?
Speed.
Oh wow,
Yeah, we want to go fast.
That is.
Why? Wait,
Ooh,
hold
this
on.
is weird. Why is this not working?
I think I'm doing the wrong inputs, straight up. I think I've forgotten the inputs that are necessary to get to this wall climb spot.
I mean, so yeah, talking about Wang jokes, we won't say any more because if we said any more, that would really be a low blow.
What is happening here?
It's fucking disgusting in here.
Oh. And now we see Meta lining up for the putt.
What's happening is Rytro's acting like a goofball, and he's wrecking your ability to do this skip.
Chat, I fully expect donations to force us to read puns to make Meta sigh.
Oh no!
Don't worry, people. You don't have to donation. I'll make all the puns yourself, but you should definitely still do it because I probably missed a couple.
We're planting trees here, people. Come on.
What?
This is a tough skip, but I figured you would have popped it by now.
I have
actually
no idea
don't
what's
know.
happening.
I don't know what's going on there. It looks correct.
Yeah, it looks like you're landing on the right spot. I don't know why this isn't working.
Okay.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, I believe that's called throwing for content.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're giving you more time to get donations in.
Exactly.
Okay, well now I'm worried about this part. This is normally pretty easy, but...
You can't see a lot of the collision that you're supposed to land on, so it's
Okay.
Okay, you're good.
Remember that time where we were supposed to slide down a hill and like we were navigating around death planes? There's even more in this skip. Every movement we're doing here is precise to avoid a death plane to get to an area we need to be.
I'm gonna go for the harder version of this skip to make up
okay.
for that.
Oh,
I wasn't going to,
Are you
but-
doing the leap of faith?
Yes. I wasn't going to.
Uh-oh.
Okay,
But
in
I
case
think
you're
I have
wondering
to now.
about the leap of faith, there's collision he needs to land on. However, it isn't spawned in yet, so we have to aim for a platform that we can't.
Yes!
Oh, nice!
No way!
Good stuff.
That's not even... Oh my god. Okay, now this is interesting, but I did just hit a checkpoint.
We're all good.
You're good, yeah, you can...
Okay. Okay, this was not the best version of it, but I'm very happy that I got that. That saves an additional maybe 30 seconds of platforming.
Oh, if you don't account for also skipping a combat arena, which is actually about like 4 minutes.
Yes. Oh, my heart is a beaten.
Wow, heart is a beaten. Well, don't worry, we'll put that heart to rest by the end.
Imagine the
Oh,
amount
God.
of thing no wonder it's flying around
If you
the
don't know it, you'll get that joke as soon as you see the final
Yeah,
boss.
the joke will become clear once we get to the last arena.
Because we won't be guarding the secret behind it for much longer.
Lord help me.
Wang's log, start date? About 4 minutes into the Dragon's Guts.
So fun fact, right there Lo Wang says, Lo Wang's logs, starting about 4 minutes into the Dragon's Guts. I just skipped a bunch of fights, granted I messed up a fair bit, and I got here at 5 minutes.
So bad.
I did the casual. It's really funny that voice line was written just because like no casual player is ever going to reach that point in 4 minutes. You can with skips for sure. Like in my previous runs, I've got there at about 3.5 minutes. But it's just funny to think that that was written like for casual players, obviously not for speedrunners, because games aren't written for speedrunners.
No. The Lo Wang in canon is a speedrunner.
True. Maybe that's why. But yeah, for a while, until we found more skips, it was impossible to actually reach that point at 4 minutes. And now it is possible. So now speedrunning is canon. Paul.
Okay, so the BFG 10,000 from earlier got eaten. So normally there's this big arena that we have to fight, but we're going to skip it actually and go straight to the heart. In case you're wondering, the heart, yes, that is the final area.
Yeah, the final boss is an organ. But it makes sense because we're also named after an organ, so.
And also, we fought an organ for the first boss too.
Also, sure, it's true.
Oh no! Accidentally hit the trigger. It's okay. That only loses like 20 seconds, but it's still, it's nice time save.
It's time.
So this is not going to PB. That's okay though.
Do we got time for a donation?
One quick one, yeah.
Yeah, one quick one.
Site of Kanzian donates $10 that says Meta is cute and so is Dane and Ryan chat.
No, you.
Yeah.
I got left out of this. I feel just sad.
And this is the final boss. It's a heart.
Yeah, this is not the heart, but it is the guardian of the heart.
Oh, it's true. It's the guardian of the heart, yeah.
This is the heart.
It just protects. We're actually facing the immune system.
Yes, this is the immune system we're fighting.
This boss fight, there is not a lot to it. Basically, the boss will do an attack, we will respond, and then damage it. So
There are multiple phases to this fight. Some of them are better designed than others, is all I'll say about that.
I mean, at least it's better designed than a Doom Eternal boss.
Yeah, as
Can't argue
far
with
as
that.
the games that have had bosses in the last like couple of years of release, I am quite fond of the bosses in this game, honestly.
This game, honestly, like, we rip on it, but it's like probably some of the best FPS bosses that we've seen of recent.
The biggest complaint that I had about this game was that it was just too short.
I think that's fine. I'm not worried about it being short. But this game is
This
worth
phase
it.
is not spectacularly designed. Just for everybody at home, you have to stay airborne while you do this, or the game incentivizes you to stay airborne while you do this because they keep bonking you with the tentacles. But it's tricky to balance, you know, shooting at these postules while also staying airborne.
They say it incentivizes you, but actually the optimal strat is to stay on the ground as you shoot those, so... Like I said, speedrunners are canon Lo Wang. But yeah, the tentacles, when they hit you, they give you like this little bounce up to where you can still aim. You can't aim while you're grappling hooked, so that's
Yeah,
why it's optimal to stay on the ground.
I actually used that there. I used a bounce, and then I grappled just for safety.
Time is coming up in a minute, by the way.
Yeah,
just
so
finish
we're
this off
gonna-
and then do one last sequence.
We're gonna fall down a pit, and then as soon as we touch the heart, we'll stop time.
The last little bit of this game is a little platforming section, and we actually do have a little skip coming up here because the trigger to end is actually located on the Guardian of the Heart's model itself.
Yep, you can lose your run right here.
Yeah.
And in fact,
Okay, saved it.
So we skip to go to that grappling point, and then we hit onto this bounce pad. Normally we'd have to go to another grapple point, but we get just enough height to go to the Guardian, so time will be in about... now.
that was a gold.
GG's.
By 1 second.
Let's go!
Good
Nice.
game. I'm just waiting for the stream to catch up so I can catch up on the timer, but we do have some more donations for the runners to hear and everyone else, so there's time. You got 56:30 according to my timer on Marathon.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah, that was a 53:27 in game time, which is,
Not
I
bad.
believe, better than my second to last PB, so that's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
I think the worst
right.
part was messing up Wang Bang like a punch, which is expected.
If you hit Wang Bang, that had a real chance of PBing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, for the last donation, the where Side Kanzion had donated that went towards Final Fantasy X or an exclamation point now, which is a special cutscene that's a meme within Foxy's community. So be sure to donate towards that if you want to see that meme happen. We also had Yorishi donating $20. Great game. Get to see Wang for just long enough. Happy to support growing more trees in the world. And that went towards Final Fantasy X Titus laugh cutscene. Everyone has to laugh. And we also had a save the frames for the first donation and a save the animals for the second donation.
Okay, interesting.
By the way, they are eating dragon sashimi in this cutscene.
Yes, this is dragon sashimi. Better than chicken sashimi, I've heard. Not
Wait,
personal experience.
I don't know. Maybe dragon sashimi can have salmonella as well. You never know. We don't know what diseases dragons could have.
Well, Raicho, you can test that out and let us know.
So yeah, here's Motoko and Hoji and a lot of characters that we don't really focus a lot on. We don't really focus on during the speedrun. But that's going to wrap it up for me. I just want to thank you, my couch, Dangerous, and Raicho. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you for being on the moderation team along with me. If you want to come speedrun Shadow Warrior 3, I highly recommend it. The skips are fairly accessible. We have a lot of resources that I'm continuing to work on, so it's easy enough to learn and a lot of fun. So head on over to the speedrun.com leaderboard, join our Discord, and we'll help you out.
Yeah, definitely. And if you don't own this game yet and you're interested in speedrunning it, we do have a giveaway supplied by Devolver Digital. $40 enters you for 10 different games that you get as a package. And we have 20 copies of that package to give to people. So if you want to get Shadow Warrior 3 plus 9 more great games for Devolver Digital, go donate towards that. Otherwise, we're going to be cutting over to the intermission. Thank you so much, Meta, Dane, and Rai.